Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Nelson with the head coach of the Wildcats, Linfield Wildcats. Joseph Smith and Coach, congratulations. First off, 50-14 win over George Fox and win number 100 for you as a head coach of the Wildcats. That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Thank you. It's certainly a great day to win anytime, and for our staff, definitely a pivotal game for us. Something that's great testament to the continuity of our staff, and proud of those guys.
6-1, your team's record now, and undefeated in the Northwest Conference. You're going into your 8th game, and the one blemish on your record is UMHB. But now you take on a Puget Sound Logger squad that struggled in the secondary, struggled defensively. How do you approach this game?
Well, they're young in the secondary, playing a lot of freshmen, and that certainly is normally the case when that happens. But I think what's unique about this game will just be the grass and the lack of field, so the lack of traction, I think certainly has to be an issue, and certainly something we're preparing for. So I think it's a nice change. We're going to be in the mud for the first time and be very slippery, and that's an issue all into itself.
Your starting offense didn't have to punt against George Fox, just dominant throughout the entire day. Sam Riddle, 3 touchdown passes, another week without an interception for him. Really high caliber play coming from your offense right now.
He's played so well the last few games, and really most of the season. He had a couple poor decisions and a little stretch there, but I think Sam is playing crazy good. It's not very good grammar, but he seemed like he only had 2 incompletions at one point, and they were both on purpose. He was throwing the ball away, so he was on fire. I thought the scheme matched well with his decision-making. Receivers made plays on the ball. It was a good day for us.
Right. Riddle completed his first 16 passes, if you can believe that. Let's talk about running backs. All 3 of them, your, so to speak, starters, scored touchdowns. The Cat backs are on a roll, too.
It's a good group, as we've said all year long. The collection of the 3 complement one another, much like a pitching staff. They're all a little bit different. They're all playing, I think, at a high level, protecting the football, good vision, and making good decisions. And I love having that depth. It gives us a great weapon, keeps their legs fresh, and we'll be heading into the latter part of the season with 3 healthy backs, which is hard for. It doesn't happen a lot, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm. You pulled the starters with your team up by 50 points, 50-0. Your defense, phenomenal again. Kyle Chandler led the team in tackles, and your team should have had 2 interceptions. Take me through that Corey Stowell interception for not pass interference on the play.
Yeah, it's just a call that shouldn't have been made, and guy was out of position, really couldn't see it, and made a poor call. So it was a great play by Corey, and certainly should have held up.
Kennedy Johnson, another interception for him. He's been really good in the secondary this year.
He has. I think as he's gotten healthy once again, he was hurt for a while. You're starting to see his aggressiveness come back and his anticipation be at such a point that he's able to make plays on the ball. And I thought our scheme was so good, taking away what they did well and forcing them to try to do some other things. Really proud of the game plan our staff put together.
Your team controls its own fate yet again in the Northwest Conference. You haven't lost this season in the NWC, and now you're kind of playing some teams that have taken a few losses, Puget Sound and then Tacoma, the Tacoma school, or PLU, pardon me. What's that feel for your team after back-to-back kind of high-stress, high-importance games?
Sure. Last week was probably more of a high stress, mostly just on our own end, getting tired of hearing a lot of publicity and a lot of exaggeratory type things. So that was maybe on our own doing, making that just, kind of basically being upset about it. But real pleased to get that game out of the way and over with. I like the fact that we're playing in the mud. That really, you can't emphasize that enough, how much of a factor that's been throughout the years when you just practice on turf all the time and then have to go on that type of surface. So that's really a great motivating factor for us to have to prepare for. And, of course, the Lutes, they're our traditional rival, not some made-up rival that says they're our rival. So, they're the team that we like to play, and they're going to play with their hair on fire for us. So that's no easy game.
How does this team compare to teams in years past? I mean, you're 7-1 or 6-1, pardon me, and undefeated in the Northwest Conference. But how does it compare? You've got so many seniors on this group, a younger offensive line. Just kind of compare and contrast.
Every team's different, so it's hard to compare and contrast teams. I think ultimately you're compared by how you do in the playoffs, and against. It'll take some elite teams to show those comparisons, if you will. But our team is so veteran at the receiver DB position. That's unique. So many seniors at those spots and a senior quarterback. So the experience level in the passing game is so high. That's a real strength for us on both sides of the ball. And as our defensive front and our offensive front have gelled and grown up, we've become a much better football team and more complete. So, and I think we're getting better in the kicking game. That's been an area that hasn't been as strong as we've liked it to have been this season. So we're getting closer to where we need to be.
Linfield takes on Puget Sound from Tacoma at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Coach Smith, thanks for the time.
Thank you.